Hey everybody, welcome back to myRE360's Be Your Own General Contractor. My name is Adonis Lockett, and in this module, and as I've been discussing throughout the entire education series, we're diving more into the myRE360 project management system, but in this module, we're talking pre-purchase and post-closing checklists. Separate from dealing with multiple personalities, you also got to make sure as an investor, you are doing everything that you need to leading up to the actual purchase of your property. Now, in addition to coordinating your subs, you also got to think about the different day-to-day requirements that you have to make sure your project goes without a hitch in regards to your closing. The myRE360 pre-purchase checklist makes sure that from the time you get a property under contract, you're following the step-by-step guides of everything that needs to be done, and no action item is overlooked. So we're going to dive into some of the more basic requirements, such as making sure your contracts are sent to title, making sure that your option and earnest money is sent out, amongst other things. Now, your pre-purchase checklist is a phenomenal tool, especially for the newer investor, because the pre-purchase checklist will step by step help you or remind you all of the things that you should do leading up to the actual purchase of your project. So once you click on the pre-purchase checklist, the first thing it'll do is identify some of the more basic and expected things you would expect to perform. So step one, you want to send the executed contract to the title company or the closing attorney. So of course, these are often time-sensitive items, so you can actually select the due date for when this has to be delivered, and you'll pick on your date, and automatically it'll save into your tool. And you can even identify whether the status is not started, in progress, or has been completed. We're going to say not started. And you can actually even add a calendar reminder to make sure that you do not forget that particular line item. And once that happens, a calendar reminder will open up, and it'll actually provide the subject line of that particular line item, and you can input the date in which you were supposed to do this. And if it's not an all-day thing, you just select and input the time frame. So the calendar invite allows you to be very in tune with everything that you have from a delivery standpoint. And again, so as you're going through, now let's just say the first line item has you delivering a contract to a title company. But my gosh, I just realized I don't have a title company identified. So you can actually click here to find the particular vendor that you'll need, and what will happen, you'll see a bunch of the different vendor types for that particular category pop up. From there, you can actually click into that particular vendor, read their profile, add them to your team, and just like that, you've now found a potential title company that you want to work with, and right there you found the particular vendor that you want to work with right from the rehab tool. And as you're going through, again, you pick the line item, send earnest money to title company, you select the date, you select the status, and again, if you want to add a calendar invite, you select which calendar invite is applicable to you, and you can add a calendar invite, and you can repeat this step throughout the process. And as mentioned, let's say you want to get down to line item 4, you want to have a GC schedule a walkthrough. Man, my gosh, I just realized I haven't had a GC come and visit this project. You click right here, and the different general contracting companies will show up in your vendor search tool. Now, each of us have a process that is very particular to the way we conduct business. So there's actually several empty line items that you can input different tasks. So for example, if you want to contact a third party, you can freehand input that information, select the calendar date for that, select your calendar invite, and again select not started, in progress, or complete. So you, again, not only does the tool allow you to be reminded, set calendar reminders for some of the more basic functions you would expect to perform leading up to your purchase, it also allows you to input information to make sure that whatever your process is leading up to purchasing the property, you actually don't forget, and you can include it in your pre-purchase checklist. Now, when you scroll down to the bottom, you'll notice how many line items, after you've inputted all of your calendar reminders and any additional action items you want to pursue, at the bottom of that particular page, it'll actually break down how many items are not started, in progress, or complete. This allows you to have visibility on where you stand in regards to the items that are outstanding, in progress, and incomplete. So let's say that there's a line item that has been completed. You'll now notice that in progress changed to 0 and completed changed to 1. So this allows you full visibility on the multiple things that you need to do, what's currently in works, and the things that you've completed. You can also send this list to yourself via email at the click of a button. And now this list has been emailed to you as seen here, email sent successfully. You can print this list, export it to PDF, or export it to an Excel file. Your post-closing checklist is essentially a checklist of the things that you should consider doing after you've completed a renovation and potentially rented out or sold a property. So similar to the pre-purchase checklist, it has just a few step-by-step items that you want to consider to make sure that you have not forgotten some of the more mundane details as part of closing out your project. So first thing, remove a lockbox from the property. Now if this doesn't apply, you can always just keep it as NA. However, if you're in the process of selling a property and you know that you're closing on the 19th, you want to have the lockbox removed on the 20th, you set a calendar reminder, select as not started, and you can even select the calendar reminder feature that will be added to your desktop and your mobile device. And as you go through line by line, again, you'll just identify if this applies. You select the time that it should be done, select the status, and again, add the calendar feature. Now, again, each of us have a very particular way that we go about performing our functions. So if there's a handful of things that you typically do as part of closing out a project that is not included in the list, you can freehand input the additional item. You can assign a due date for it, and you can assign whether it's not started, in progress, or complete. From there, you'll notice at the bottom of the screen, you'll keep a running tally of the different action items that have been not started, that are in progress, and as you're completing them, that are now complete. With a single push of a button, you can send this list to yourself via email. You can print it, export it to a PDF, or export it to an Excel file. Now that you've toured the pre-purchase and post-closing checklist, you can be assured that none of your primary responsibilities are going to be overlooked or forgotten. So in this module, just to recap, we talked about the importance of making sure that your step-by-step process leading up to the purchase of your investment project goes without a hitch and no action item overlooked or forgotten. We also talked about how the post-closing checklist will make sure that you're properly closing out a project and nothing like utilities or lockboxes are left or forgotten, resulting in costing you money at the end of your project. You guys have been great. It's been a pleasure taking you on this journey. Again, my name is Adonis Lockett. Make sure to like this video, subscribe to our channel. You can find me on social media at Adonis Lockett on Facebook and Instagram, and I'll see you in the next module.